Hey Steve, it's JR. I just wanted to send you a message, a video I thought would be just a little bit better. After looking at the property and going through the comps, I just want to show you what I have and give you some suggestions that might make the most sense for you. So 2046 Dodge. All right, so we got the property here. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at everything on a real-time basis. So this is actually, I'm in the MLS, going in there, checking everything out. So we are going to go here and so here's the property, and this is what I'm going to do is on an investment side where I'm looking at as investment. The first thing I want to look at is how many properties, number one, have sold in like the intermediate area, like an appraiser would do. So the more properties that have sold, I want to make sure that there's enough demand to fit the actual amount of interest. Meaning, the first thing I'll do is I'm going to take the address. And this is in, you can see that this is in Evanston, so the area is 201. So I'm going to do a search on the detached properties in the area. We are going to kind of figure out a couple things here. We're going to see how many things have closed. We are going to see how many things are active. We are going to see how many things have closed in the last 6 months in the pricing. So we want to just get a feel for how many buyers are in the area. We also want to get a good idea of how many different properties are, how they are doing in the area. So I'm going to add the address. And so with this, we're kind of in a little bit of a pocket between Green Bay Road, coming down the ridge, the church here, and going to the river. So this is kind of an awkward area. Typically we could hit the radius. Usually I like to look at a mile radius to see how many buyers are in the area and then break it down to a half mile and almost break it down to an exact. So there's 3 levels that I look for. A wider area of a mile, which gives us an idea of all the different buyers and sellers in the area. Half a mile, which gives us more of a specific on what's happening in the area. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this tool, and then we are going to go here and get a feel for what's going on. So you can see, and then what I want to do is, like, if you put this for a 0.5, you can see that this outer radius still falls in this little framework here. So I'm just going to get rid of that altogether. So we're going to look at all the homes that have sold and everything. I want to make sure I have a firm idea and a picture of exactly everything that's going on in the area, so we can see view results. All right, so some of the things that we have here is looks like there's one property, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, that's currently active. So if you look at, so this is within a 6-month period of time. This is exactly the same thing that would happen with an appraiser or anything in the local area. So I want to see everything, and looks like, you know, we've gone down from the 109, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at what we could buy it for. We're going to look at what we need to spend, and then ideally what it will sell for, and what, you know, what our markup could potentially be. Obviously these properties up here, 500,000 above, don't even make sense for the area. I've gone through this list, so I have a good understanding. So ideally, you know, obviously the property needs a lot of work. If I narrow this down, we're going to break this down until like 2-3 bedrooms. So we see we have a lot of inventory, which is good. That means there's buyers on both sides of things. There's a lot of closed versus a lot that are active, which is good on supply and demand. Then we want to get an idea of what is taking place more of with that type of property. So on an as is, without doing a ton of different work, looks like we have one here on McDaniel, which is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bathrooms, 1 story. So this one would be something we're trying to, looks like somebody rehabbed it, and it looks like we're going to, looks like about 2,000 square feet. Looks like they spent quite a bit to get there, but this is not sold, so that's not really a good valuation. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actives, and then we have probably well balanced on this side. So in here, anything we have 2-1. This home right here is really probably your biggest competition, because it looks like originally listed for 125. Now it's at 109. No one's showing anything on here. Looks like it's a builder. The lot's 25 by 125, so it's a standard Chicago style lot. There's no, looks like there's violations, but there's nothing on here that shows anything in relationship to short sales or anything of that. We can go back on the tax records real quick. And it looks like a company owns it. Looks like they bought it a few months ago for $74,000 at sale, at a judicial sale. So that's pretty cheap, which is not going to help your cause with things. But you know, that's kind of your competition, and they still haven't been able to sell it. Here's another one at 139. Looks like this is 1,084 in reference to square footage here. I don't know if you can, let me get this thing out of the way. Sorry. And so let's see what the auction has for it. It's a brick, Cape Cod. Looks like it needs some work. Bathroom, fireplace. Actually, I grew up in a house very similar to this. It was funny. The funny little story is I used to love Batman, so I would actually, we had a door at the top of the stairs, and I tied a rope to the door handle, and I would walk up the stairs with a rope like Batman, and I ended up the rope flipped off, and I came rolling down, and I smashed my head on the wall just like that, and had a few stitches. So not that I want to give you a story, but we have, this one's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, so that's something we have to take into consideration. Looks like it's been on the market for some time. It is listed through Exum, which is one of those sites. Here's another one that's closed. Brick, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 992 square feet. So this is another one for you, and I know that this house actually is habitable, but needs some work. So it looks like they have a full basement on this one, and it's finished, but it looks like they've had some water. You can see some mold there, but the house for the most part seems in decent shape. And that's closed, so that closed at 165 with that, about the same size and square footage. So you know, so here's what I'd probably recommend. This is actually, I looked at this home. This is a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. That's a little bigger, but it looks like it's been cleaned up, you know, obviously. And this one looks like somebody did a minor rehab. Those cabinets look like they were restained or painted, but they're not new on there. You know, they did a little cleanup, which is good. New carpet, new paint, stuff like that. So this one sold for $210, but 2 bedroom, 1 bath on a fairly decent size property. So we would need to get a little bit of work done to the property in order to get this. So my guess is to get it in this working order, just functioning. You know, we added some drywall, finished up some plumbing. You know, you probably got 40 or 50 grand to get it there. So someone would take that into consideration. Trying to go bigger, because I wanted to see really what's like some of these here, 1 stories, 1 stories, 1 stories. These are really comparable. 3 bedrooms, 1 in the basement. So if we did something like this, here's a similar home, 2,000 square feet, but that's including the basement. You can see that somebody put a new kitchen in, new flooring, new drywall, new pretty much everything in the home. So looks like they did a nice job, but it did end up selling for $315, 2,000 square foot, including the basement. Taxes are a little bit higher than yours. So it looks like finished basement 1,000, upgrade 1,000. So this is really probably the best comparable property, because you can do 2, 1, 3, 1, 2 bathrooms. So you're probably, to get it here, my calculations would be, so if you're at 315 finished, completely rehab, and for you to get a bedroom in the basement, and you know, you'll have to dig down, you're probably at about 80,000 with everything, and leaving the rest of the house alone, a minimum. So 80,000. So if you take 315, you know, it's really a fair assessment. The times by 0.6, which gets you about 180 to 190. So then if you're at somebody bought your home at 180, they added about 80,000 to get it to somewhere at the 260 marker. Then they had to pay closing costs on 315. This is probably somewhere in the ballpark of 20 grand. You know, that's going to be pushing it. So, you know, for you, my guess is you're probably going to end up selling it very, very, very close to exactly where you have it at now. There's a 330, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, but I think this is a little bit bigger. Yeah, this is 1,400 square foot, all brick with no basement, but a little bigger with things. But completely finished. Like somebody did, I saw this one, did a super nice job on that. I know the cabinet line of the guy that does those cabinets. They're called ProCraft. They're actually out of Hillside. So here's what I would recommend. I would tell you that you're probably going to, and I can help you through this, so you could probably squeak away with breaking even on the deal. So give me a call. Look at this video. I'll set this up so we can help you do this. I have a menu of services that I offer. Again, this property, if I was looking at it, I would probably, hey Bob, if I was probably looking at this property, I would probably want to be somewhere more towards the 110 to 120 marker, which I think would be easier to justify getting it all in about 210 to 220, and hopefully sell it at 300 with the size of things. So give me a call and we'll talk further about this. I'm going to stop the video now. I'll send you this link, kind of go through this so you can see all these different things. I will send this list to you as well, and then we'll be all good to go. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Steve, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.